in 2012, get this, the Better Business Bureau has already received more than 1,000 complaints about door-to-door magazine sellers and dealers. Maybe some of those complaints came from you. That number is already well on its way to nearly doubling last year's number, which was a whopping 1,300 complaints. Yeah. Dale Dixon joins us from the Better Business Bureau. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning to you.
And of course, 1,300 is a huge number to begin with. We're on pace to really blow that one out of the water. What are all these complaints about this year?
Over halfway through 2012, and what we see is magazine subscriptions, number one, and food products. So it's the door-to-door meat sellers that we have locally. Those were national numbers that you gave as we compile those, but we're really seeing the local trend as well. So we've had 115 complaints just against meat vacuum and alarm companies out of Idaho's Better Business Bureau since the beginning of the year. And with the vacuum and the magazine subscription, things like that, somebody knocks on your door, we're really warning folks on magazine subscriptions because oftentimes it's the sob story. We're here for a nonprofit. I'm off some inner city street and I'm trying to get my life back in order. You can help me. You can help the nonprofit by buying a magazine subscription, completely overpriced. Usually it's a scripted story, meaning it's not necessarily true.
Their supervisors tell them what to say.
The supervisors tell them what to say, and most likely it's not for some nonprofit. So it's very important that you do your background check on these folks. Meat products, what we hear from people who complain to Better Business Bureau is that the product, number one, was not delivered, or number two, was not near the quality that they were promised it would be.
And of course, it's your time is valuable too, and who knows how long some of these doorstep conversations last. I unfortunately have had some myself, and it can be hard to get them away, you know, so it takes away from your own personal time as well. Now, of course, you always come with tips about how people can protect their money, and in this case, sounds like they probably need to. What's on that list today? You
know, my number one question, anytime somebody knocks on the Dixon door and says they want to sell something, I want to see your solicitor's permit. Plain and simple.
I wouldn't want to be the one to knock on the Dixon doorstep, by the way.
My family runs. They run to the back of the house because it's so embarrassing for them. But we encourage folks, number one, to ask that question because it gives you the easy out. If the person knocking on your door selling something does not have a solicitor's permit that's issued by the city clerk's office, then all you have to do is say, you're operating illegally in my neighborhood. I'm going to call the police.
And usually that'll probably scare them away.
That works
right?
really well to move them on their way. But number one, be safe. Don't invite these folks in your home. You know, look for that opportunity. If they're selling a product that you're interested in, then go ahead, but be wary. And that means you do your research. And if they say they're with a company, if they say they're with an organization, or they're raising money for an organization, say, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to do the research and be sure that this is all true. You can trust, but verify. So if they say they're raising money for a school by selling magazine subscriptions, I'm going to call the school to see if they are in fact selling magazine subscriptions for the school, and then be sure to get details, understanding that there is that cooling off period.
Yeah, and that's one of the details a lot of people don't know about. The cooling off period essentially gives you time to, I guess, ask for a refund, correct? What's that time period?
So it's the Federal Trade Commission. It's a federal rule that says you, as the homeowner, have up to 3 days to change your mind if you make a purchase from one of these door-to-door retailers. Or now that we have the fair coming up, if you go to the fair and you buy something from a booth that's over $25, you also have the opportunity
Interesting aspects.
to get a refund or to turn that product back in. And so be sure that it's all in writing, that the seller understands the requirement as well, and that you have it in writing, that you have up to 3 days to change your mind.
Okay, so good tips there, of course, and you have, I'm assuming there's plenty more tips about door-to-door salesmen. They, of course, can cause several issues that people have probably called you guys about. So
check them out with BBB before you buy.
Yeah, and BBB.org will, of course, have all those instances, tips, everything. We'll link to it for you at IdahoOnYourSide.com. So thanks so much for being with us, sounding the alarm once again, Dale.